watching him. So we're sitting there, and he sits down in a chair that's normally there. Hit the water. I was like, and Lance's like, dude. Came downstairs, and I guess I found out later. Francesca goes, "What'd you do?" I spilled water. He goes, "Whoa, Bruno must really like you." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "I didn't hear one bit of yelling." She was not wrong.
And so we are indeed live. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side of Vegas.
How you
I am
doing?
Roy Evans.
Bruno Browning.
And we have our special guest here is none other than, do you predominantly go by Steve or Steven?
As a musician?
See, it makes a difference.
It's funny. It kind of, Steve was just easier. Well, here's the thing. I was actually born Stefanos,
Yeah.
the Greek name, but then it's actually Stephen with the PH.
Uh-huh.
But when I lived in Europe, to get better gigs and more frequent gigs, I had to use my American side. So I kind of went to Steve.
Oh,
so
I thought that was when you got black friends. Like,
No.
man,
That's
we're not
called
calling you
that's
no
called
goddamn Stefanos.
that's called passing.
No, don't worry. Yeah. So Steven. So now actually the Steve became like the DJ name, and then the Steven full name is like the composer name now, because that's actually what gets filed for
ASCAP and shit.
like BMI and shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, BMI, huh?
That's when you grow up.
Yeah, you're a goddamn professional.
But I just don't want to transfer all my
So
stuff. Thank you, Sean.
Steven, make peace with it. Whatever works for people.
So we got Steve Walker in the building.
What's up?
We digress.
Yeah, right?
That took a while.
That was a long one.
That was a long one. Sorry.
My bad.
5 a.m. Deep.
Old school.
Euro Trash Collective.
Old school.
And
Now Vegas Collective Media.
Vegas Collective Media. And fans of
Jimmy
Jimmy
Sen-
Sen-
Band.
Yeah. DJ, percussionist extraordinaire, and all that good stuff. No, like seriously, I'm not like I've known. I don't know about Bruno, but I've known this dude for a minute. And,
We're working on him. He's slowly liking me.
and,
Shit, I fucking love you now.
and Steve is the truth, so it's not like okay, he's a DJ, he's percussion. No, he does percussion and DJs at the same time.
But they're all weirdos. I'm not giving you credit for that. All percussionists can DJ within 5 minutes. Pretty much.
They can.
Nah, man.
Have you ever seen a drummer? Danny's a drummer. They all drummers. But I know you're a percussionist. I know there's a little bit of a difference, but it's the same.
Well, no,
it's just the thought. So kind of.
Let's clear it up.
Clear it up?
I'm actually a classically jazz drummer, a trained jazz drummer, turned percussionist, then DJ. So but you are right. Drummers and percussionists.
They tend to.
The story I tell people how I learned how to DJ is like I figured out the rhythm of it.
It's ingrained in you, right?
It's a great.
Yeah.
So like I saw someone do it was like monkey see, monkey do.
Monk business.
But at the same time, there's also one of the things that gives what you say some credibility. Not a lot.
Begrudgingly.
Is that as a drummer or percussionist, you know when a beat is off.
Yeah.
Because
Not always.
God damn it, that's true. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But there is a.
Depending on where you are in your DJ career, yeah.
But here's the thing, let's say if there was, like, for drummers, say there's nothing like drumming, like other instrument, like let's say guitars, there's other string instruments, but percussion, like timbra is like the one thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like the. Before, let's not go down the rabbit hole, but when you go down to 432 frequencies,
right?
Drum sounds don't need to change because they're already resonated with the frequency of Earth, kind of thing. So
right.
So, where were we taking this?
I was just saying
that's a rabbit hole.
No, we're just going down the rabbit hole. So here's the thing. That's what I go. So, drummers, the only thing that can be, the equivalent to drumming is DJing. Because you have to learn there's a rhythm, and you are doing percussive stuff. You have to.
It's a direct correlation. It's a direct.
It is. You have to learn about timing. You have to learn about rhythm. You have to. You are. It's almost like I feel like being a jazz drummer, being a DJ. You learn about improvisation. You have to predict what's going to happen. You have to know.
Well, that's what I always talked about. The drummer has. I always thought he was doing his foot and doing this. Yeah. It kind of is. It's kind of easy. Like not easy, but it makes sense that. Okay, I'm gonna take these two beats and make them, not easy, but you know what I'm saying. Like
so, like in bands, like there's a DJ is like the next instrument of the rhythm section, if you were to see it. So it's like so the DJ is always with the drummer, the bass, and the piano player, and so like piano players are really good at percussive stuff.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good. They become good finger drummers. You know, guitarists not so much, but even though they're really licky, but they drummers, like guitarists, it's funny. Guitarists are always closet drummers, and drummers are always closet guitarists. Like like they always want to be, but it's just that they know that they're in a completely different, territory. So there's an ambidextral kind of mindset that DJs have.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean, if you have
which
both
is
on the
common
track,
with
they're both
drummers.
very integral parts of that
Yeah.
piece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people, they go one way or another as to whether or not the hierarchy goes, but it could be argued that the meat and potatoes consist of the drum and the guitar or the bass or whatever that string is.
Bass is the soul.
Let's set that off. Get a little salute.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Bass is the soul.
So to clarify things, I'm not just a percussionist.
To be clear.
And we got to Z.
It's an electronic percussion, okay?
To be clear.
It's
This
electronic
This
percussion.
rabbit hole is gonna get real interesting.
Yeah, we might have to make this.
If you haven't already.
I intentionally made
Yeah,
sure
he's
I
probably
didn't.
gonna need the bigger glass.
I intentionally made sure I didn't go pick up any because I just had a feeling.
Cheers.
Yamas.
Yamas. There we go. Look, Jinx.
People look like I'm crazy.
We just realized we're Greek.
Yeah, well,
Well,
we've both
that we
known
know
for a while.
We've known it for a while. Not each other.
For you, sir.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man.
So this is
It's rabbit hole time.
I'm really excited to be here, guys. This is I've been watching this for years, and it's like, God, I want to be on that TV show. And I finally got.
Because, if you need it badly.
So what's this? This is like coffee?
Yeah.
Oh,
Coffee
man.
flavor?
Dude, once you go flying.
One is caramel and the other one is Swiss mocha.
And you made this.
Yep.
Oh, hell. Jessica,
Holy snap.
Grandma.
So this is. It's very complimentary to tequila. With tequila.
Most
Sorry.
things are.
I'm learning. Wow.
Dude, but about that flying, though.
So.
Where were we?
Yeah, right.
I'm about to get retarded.
Don't mind us. This ain't gonna last
I like how we
Except
went.
for Bruno, he's gonna nurse his.
Yeah, because.
Like it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna take-
and I gave you the light one.
Thank you.
That's only 10 milligrams.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I
What do you
did.
think is
I took 80 the other day. Remember?
This is the best pot.
Everyone I told, I did both.
But-
Everyone had the same face.
But that wasn't necessary evil.
Yeah, I was hurting. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I do that.
so let's get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Or is this to become a monkey business show? It should be.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to stay as humble as possible, but you guys are supposed to talk about me.
We'll get to you.
We're eating ice cream, man.
No, you won't. You definitely know how to shut me up.
What we got coming up? What we got coming up?
We're gonna make it interesting.
Hey, what's going on in town?
This is called the overlay for the underplay.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Sound like the
Now,
worst
y'all
punk band
keep
ever.
track of when y'all see it kick in on them. Now,
Listen, David Serrano,
This is big.
fuck you. Just kidding, David.
big ups to David Serrano.
So,
Okay.
I love that dude.
what's going on this week?
So
Somebody for Taco Taco Tuesdays we can't pronounce their name.
actually,
Can you pronounce it this week?
Yeah.
It's not some symbol.
No, Prince hasn't come back. This one is tonight. We got DJ Ruff and Leia. That's Avalon, Avalon, LA. That's Steve Pryor. Big up Steve.
Name drop.
And Leia Techno Black,
That's
along
racist.
with Pedro. You know what? I need to go out tonight. Pedro Flores and Rob Dub.
That's Taco
I'm
Tuesday.
saying
I haven't seen Pedro in a minute.
that's why I'm going. But to see him and Rob get down, that's gonna be fun.
I'm going out tonight.
And tomorrow we have the Funk Down with Rob Alon and Doug W.
Gotta get down there.
Yep, at the W. That's 5 p.m. to 11.
5 p.m.
Yep. 5 p.m. to 11. That's how that's going down. And
A little early. I'm going to the Commonwealth tomorrow.
Commonwealth.
Yep.
That's where it's at?
Well, no, I'm going to the Commonwealth tomorrow. That's
quick side note, big ups to my man Brian Gardner and
Rob.
Brian Gilliam in the building.
My brother.
What's happening, fellas?
Thanks for that feedback, brother.
Up, guys.
Shoe is in the building.
What?
That's it.
What?
It's just
Yes,
some
sir.
We have a seat for you.
talent, you know.
Anytime. For real.
Anytime.
Also coming up, we got
I love that dude.
at Commonwealth.
It's a Nacho House takeover.
Yep. With
House musical.
with everybody that's not your house.
Yeah, just no.
I'm kidding. Flash Gang.
I'm not.
My man Raphael Laguerre.
Beast.
For real. Tony Comfort, obvious.
Beast.
And Sky.
Not so much.
That's at Commonwealth. And then also Wednesday, you got Techlo back to back with DJ Debonair.
Who?
That's at Wrecking Crew Wednesdays at Juicy Beats.
I really enjoyed that Wednesday night. I really do.
I gotta go.
Maybe because Jessica. I just really enjoy it.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's
It's like
a great
old
vibe.
home week, man.
You know, then Thursday we got Subtle Soul at Juicy Beats with Frank Richards in the building.
What?
My man Rob Dub again and Jay Handel.
Love that dude.
Yeah, for real. And also Thursday Downtown Soul, Lenny Alfonso and Lenny Kaika
Low down, Lenny.
at the Downtown Cocktail Room. And also there's Pride Vegas, Las Vegas Pride, Soft Leather. Now, honestly,
Soft leather.
I don't know what the genre is. I'm not completely familiar, but my man Black Irish is gonna be there, so
Big
that
up to Aaron.
I can definitely support.
I hope
Yeah.
your teeth feel better.
I hope you're not wearing
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right.
I hope you're not wearing that shawl you were wearing the other night.
Because that's what happens when you chew on the damn speakers. Homeboy was spinning the other night. He said, yeah.
He ain't wrong. Then he tried to take it and drop it. He tried to take it and drop it.
That was hilarious. That was
I
hilarious.
forgot about that. Oh shit,
Then
that
you
was
got,
that was so funny.
It's that time of the month again, the good time.
Soul Kitchen.
Yes, sir. Soul Kitchen, and
The good time.
with another with a third annual 30-year anniversary for Rory
I'm
House
sorry, the what?
Heritage.
Oh, the third. Okay.
Yeah, Rory McAllister, DJ Shoes in the building. Harry A. Negares.
Oh, really?
Yep. You're gonna have Casey on percussion and
Well-
Jason on the visuals.
Thursday night, I guess I know where I'll be.
Dude, I mean, I'm tired already thinking about it. It's gonna be a long week already because
long week.
there's a bunch of joints I need to, show up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday.
Hot off the press.
Yes, sir. Unfiltered Soul, my boys Robin and Doug W are moving to Friday nights. And yeah, I realize that if you don't know who I'm talking about, it sounds like, well, what makes it? It's just one of those things where
Can't help it. It's too good.
they're gonna get it in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
I'm not gonna big it up too much. Obviously, I know him personally, and I love these dudes. But when I talk about qualified DJs, man, these cats get it in. You know, there aren't many duos that I can call dynamic. You know, Robin Doug is one, Brian and Brenda is another. You know, it just doesn't get any more.
He set you up nice last week, or this past Friday.
Who?
At DCR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was right in
Oh,
the
yeah.
pocket. It was so perfect.
Professional.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
That's how it's done.
You gotta tell me, man.
Now, I'm not privy to any details for Friday for Juicy Beats, but know that something's going on, and you show up and find out, goddamn.
You show up anytime.
As far as Fridays go, some newness jumping off. It's not going to be this Friday, but it's going to start next Friday.
Excited.
And Friday Night Socials is moving to Bocho Sushi.
Man, I'm excited about that.
Man, that's all I'm going to say. I'll see you there.
Exactly.
Big ups to my man Carlos Sanchez for making the move.
Much love, brother.
Also Friday and Saturday, Uncle Ben
Uncle Ben's getting it in.
got some new things to go on, man.
Wow. And it's in. It just hits its on him.
Kama Sexy at Turmeric. So what's gonna happen is
That's really the name?
Yep.
Kama Sexy.
Kama Sexy.
All right.
I can't even come with anything funny for that.
I can't either.
Kama.
Kama.
Okay, so on Fridays, Douglas Gibbs is gonna be getting it in,
Good.
and on
Nothing over
Saturdays, your boy Ikaika.
I love that dude too.
Yes, sir. So it'll be them and friends, but
Or Steve Aoki.
but look forward to Doug being at Turmeric on Fridays and Ikaika being there on Saturdays. And
Wicked hat.
speaking of Saturdays, that would be Doug's Gibbs back at DCR.
Man, give up some of the
Saturday Night Vibe.
gigs, Gibbs.
Huh?
Give up some of the gigs, Gibbs.
No, man.
Hey, man, you know, you got to get it in, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
now,
The AARP special.
For once, it doesn't involve me. Hallelujah.
Yeah, but you
Get
laughing.
to get those goddamn letters. Shit. So, speaking of Brian and Brenda, and Frank, as a matter of fact, Nacho House Sundays. Now, I'm definitely going to fuck this one up. Byak. Did I say that right?
That sounds like.
BJAK?
Jack.
Close enough.
Jack.
Close enough.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do something more frenetic about that.
Jack.
but Brian and Brenda's going to be getting it in along with Frank Richards. So you definitely want to.
I haven't seen Frank in a minute.
You know what? It's really hard to be sincere without sounding like I'm like blowing smoke or something. But when I mentioned about Brian and Brenda being dynamic,
They're so good.
I mean, you know what? Maybe I'm lying.
No, I'm
Prove
not.
me wrong.
Hey, I'm not.
Prove me wrong. I'll see you on the dance floor because that's where I'm gonna be. And then the after jump off after Nacho House Sunday is gonna be next door at Juicy Beats with my man Black Irish in the mix.
Damn, Black Irish.
Yep.
I know. What?
And
He was playing tonight.
then you got what I could honestly, quite possibly hypothesize as being our number one fan, my boy David Serrano.
Love that dude.
Is going to be at Terrace After Hours
That's right.
with El Boogie and this fella right here, along with
What?
Brett Rubin. I haven't seen Brett in a minute. What's happening, Brett?
And we have Bishret.
Yeah, I was going to leave that to you because I'm not fucking with that. It's like,
Shut
you a
up.
rat. Nah. You-
Shut up.
The wheels have already come off this moment.
Shut up.
I haven't been there yet.
You haven't been?
No, I haven't been there yet. I need to check it
And
out.
another thing I don't normally
need to come.
do is
I think I will.
I'm going to give a big heads up. When is this date? November 17th. November 17th will be the 3rd anniversary of Cymatic Sessions. That's going to be at Juicy Beats with my man Raphael Laguerre, Rob Dub, and, okay, help me out. It's fucking hieroglyph right there.
NEF.
See?
NAF.
See, I'll go ahead now. I was going to go.
Where's the? We need the Rosetta Stone.
ANEYF? Anif? Okay, cool, whatever. But it's going to be hot, for real. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to big up my boys representing across the pond. Matter of fact, my boy Mikey Town is over there too.
Yeah, that's
big
what I
up,
do.
Big ups to Mikey. And,
Mike Town.
but Tino and Oscar Molina are over there for ADE
Yep. That's dope.
across the pond in Amsterdam. So big ups to them. And that's what I go on this week.
That's a nice week of.
That sounds like a week that I might have cardiac
House.
arrest.
Well, you know what? That's a really good week of, man, ain't shit to do in Vegas. You know, all the shitty music.
Would come, bro, but I got something to do.
Where can you find good
Post, send.
Said the dude that ain't been here for 8 years. And when he did, he went to the strip. Yeah, I did. I understand why you salty. But even MySpace was around back then. You could have found us.
Yep.
Because we've been here. We've been here.
I've been here for a
So,
minute.
If you're considering, if you don't live here and considering coming here, there's a lot of shit for you to get into. And you ain't got to go far to find it.
There's ice cream and tequila.
Dude.
If you if you live here and I don't see you out, when I do see you, I'm going to trip you.
Exactly.
You know.
And now I can't stop thinking
You know,
about comic
and
comedian.
I can't say it enough. No, all bullshit aside, I can't say it enough, man. These nights can't happen without you. You know, everybody can't, you know, reserve the right to wait till next time. You know,
There better not be one.
at the very least, you know, a couple of weeks ago kind of proved that we aren't guaranteed that. But I hope to see you sooner than later if I haven't seen you for a while. And you know, these nights need it. You know, because that's how it goes. It's all about the numbers.
Community.
Regardless of how good the music is. You know, in the end, you need asses in the door, you know, feet on the floor. And
And the beat on the floor.
I couldn't come up with another rhyme, but buy some drinks, goddammit.
Purple drink.
That purple drink. Right?
Yeah,
some
right.
Some grape drink.
Big ups to Michelle Patimpa.
Yeah, big up to Shelly.
She ain't watching.
What's that?
Hooker. She's my road
Oh,
dog. She's my best friend.
She is now. Somebody gonna tell her. Ooh, girl, Bruno called you a hooker.
She goes, I know.
He ain't wrong. I figure I just get in the mix.
Just get up in there. You get up in there.
You know.
Yeah, Michelle's rallying the troops for the second for November for us.
Just do me a favor. If you're gonna hit me, just do it in private. Don't.
She's from the South Side of Chicago, and she's South Side Chicago.
Got that knee jerk reaction.
Let's get into this stuff, man.
Yeah. Speaking of next month, we got Juwan Rates coming through from LA, so that'll be real fun. The last one was fun.
Yeah, big time. Patem's putting together the posse too. She's getting the troops out for that one.
Cool.
The girls are getting the people out.
Cool. So we're gonna get into
we're gonna do the
the
wide
man,
dance.
the myth, the legend, the drummer slash percussionist, the classical jazz train. No, I'm fucking with you. So as of right now, besides DJing, you have a studio.
Yeah.
Where you get it in, and no, ain't gonna be no discounts. Maybe, you know.
There's 50% discounts all month.
Yeah.
But we'll talk
scroll
about
scroll up, or maybe scroll down, and you'll see it on the page in House Las Vegas, with his contact and all that.
Sweet.
But would you run the gamut as far as genres and what you guys, get into at the studio?
Yeah. I'm an audiophile at heart, so I just love being exposed to frequencies that are pleasing to the ears, and that sometimes comes in form of music. most of the time, I can't speak for all the clients that have come in, but no.
That's true. I feel that way about
no,
DJs.
but yeah, I love testing and challenging myself musically every day, and I like getting, independent artists to major artists over milestones, or getting stuff out of people's head into a computer is very, very difficult. And having an idea and having it come to the actual physical form, sound or anything is just like.
You helped me last week.
Right, well, just ergonomically.
Yeah, you helped me last week, man.
But yeah, I mean, just
just a little comment.
Just yeah, I didn't even really, we haven't really had a lot of discussions, but I like helping people, in the field of music or audio, and the studio is a great place, to pull people in for that. So before, back in the day when I started, it was just like hip hop house, that's only what I messed with, and then I didn't, having a musician background and stuff like that, and I kind of took the haterade out of my kitchen, and I was like, can we swear?
Yeah.
I was like, I can fuck with country, or stuff like that. I mean, because I just I could drum it well because I perform it live. Let me see what happens in the studio. I was like, just because I don't like, I like all music.
Country,
There's,
blues,
there's just some stuff that I would not prefer to listen to for a long period of time. But I can get into it. It's like no. We can all get into young, achy breaky heart for a second, or whatever, but whatever.
I love country.
But you never know.
At least into the chorus.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love country, man.
But you never, like you might hate listening to it, but like, oh my God, like let's say there's something that you excel in, and if you're good at it, and there's a need for someone else, and don't hide, a skill set or something, just because you're not interested in something that you can
Because
help.
you're not feeling it, yeah.
Yeah, just so it's like that turned into so I allow myself to take in different projects and kind of test the water, like, oh, here's a country singer, and I was like, oh, I make you start finding out the formulas to stuff too. That's why a lot of people don't mess with music, because they might like it, but they're like, they might not do it well, or they're too hesitant to do it well. And I kind of the way I got into music was I saw something and I was like, shit, I want to do that. Like drumming, self-taught, and then I got drum lessons. DJing, I saw like a DJ playing it, and I was like, fuck, I can do that. When I got the turntables and all, the CDJ, I was able to beat match, just because you really want something, you can get it, So, and then if you want like success in the music business, you also got to kind of keep your foot in different areas. So like this, exposing myself to different genres of music and challenging myself, and say, am I good at this or am I not? Or every day was a different challenge. So hip hop and R&B and house, went to rock, country, folk, went to Bollywood, and gospel.
Just got more tools and
than
tool chest at that point.
cinematic, and I was like, I think I can make orchestral music. That's like the hardest stuff for or movie trailers, and that was like the biggest challenge. And I was like, I didn't think I would be good at it, but then actually when I got to the MIDI keyboard, I was like, shit, I can actually do it. So I kind of like I liked the challenge, and obviously a lot of clients who came in. Obviously, created challenges too. It's like I didn't just wake up and say I want to do a Bollywood album. It's like no. And
I was going to try to dig a little deeper on that, but I'm glad you did.
No, that was the hugest challenge because you start. That's
the choreography.
And I wish I had the choreography because that'd been a lot easier. When you start breaking stuff like genres, there's from a musician, a producer, and an engineer side to get to tailor something as an idea to a physical product that can be sold, as a song or a record. There's like okay, you're doing gospel, you have to treat the musicians a certain way to get the best performance. You have to get certain kind of musicians to get the performance, and the producer has to, orchestrate that, and then the engineer's got to mix things a certain way,
to bring the parts out.
Yes, then as we go down the rabbit hole. It's like not everyone can mix house music, that's the thing. So there's different techniques with same tools, but everyone can make a damn pie or bread, but. You're making French bread or baguette or artisan. You can't use the same flour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you start figuring out the different recipes for stuff, and then it's like, making country music isn't that hard because here's like 1, 2, 3. This is once you start breaking down the 1, 2, 3 step process of
it starts clear. It starts becoming more clear.
Everything starts making sense. You're like, oh wow, maybe I hate folk. But I love producing it. It's like, or whatever, or like, some people like, there's rappers that hated house because they thought it was all techno, but then they heard a beat and like, oh shit, this is my favorite thing. Yeah. People aren't exposed to the,
It's not their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Tell me this. I don't. Before I forget it, I don't interrupt you. How did it take you a while to get yourself acclimated to like the Middle Eastern, the Indian, those different? It's not pleasing to. I saw this. Actually, I took a little course about it.
The raga scales.
Yeah, all the scales are different. It's not as pleasing to the Western ear. Not I say pleasing. I mean, we're not used to it.
Yeah.
So how long did that take you to get that, or did you just fall right into it?
I fell right into it because being Greek and living in living in Europe, I
made sense.
I knew Middle Eastern, and it's similar to raga stuff, but that's why I accepted the challenge, and then I found out, I was like, okay, I thought it was gonna be easy. I was like, just because what they say, like, oh, I want to record these kind of songs, with this kind of stuff, and they liked the music, so the music kind of fit. And then when we started getting into it, like, all right, you want to, like, you can kind of do stuff, like you have people that, let's say R&B singers and rappers, and like, oh, I got a house beat, and you never know, it's never like a real house 101 track. It's like it's their interpretation. They found a synth and then they used hip hop drums and they made a 4 on the floor. But it's or some, so people kind of are doing something, and then there's people that are really doing it. So then when I've been in those two areas, and so when you start peeling out the layers, like all right, you start getting to the song, and then you realize the singer, like, oh, okay, when you're involved with a project, let's say like a Bollywood album. And you start analyzing stuff that's been out and what's popular or what was successful, and then musically the culture. If you're a musician, you actually need to okay, the percussion is doing, like, I know how to play tabla, so I know you have to play certain rhythms, and then you start realizing, all right, there's they have specific rhythms and they have specific scales, and then they have specific vibratos. Exactly. Someone mentioned no phones in the studio.
Totally made my
So like, and this is why I love the studio. It's like, okay, so like, all right, I was like, okay, I've accepted the challenge, and like, shit, now I better know my fucking game,
right?
Because like, you can't fake the funk in certain, like, if you want to be in, have success in the industry, you can't. Like pop records and stuff like that, people hate on pop music, but that is like one of the most difficult stuff to produce and engineer. And if you start peeling the layers of just like what happens for these kinds of songs, and and it's the same thing in Bollywood. People don't even know, but Bollywood is some, those guys are not fucking around.
Yeah,
they're all top. Everyone's a top trained musician, and they like if you don't hit one of the notes out of the 3 of a vibrato,
right.
You're not legit, and your album is fucking tossed out the window, like no joke. Like, and so it's like, when it came down to that project, I was like, all right, I'm gonna, now manually, voice tuning an Indian vocal. So I'm doing 11 records. So like you have to,
Boom, boom, boom.
so Indian vocals, there's crazy. Everything is a vibrato, and these things, it's not like a normal human might flick to like half or whole note, maybe three.
Right.
They go to like 3 and 5, and they
Yeah.
have to be correct, and they know every note. If
Yeah.
you're like so
They make bravado sound like yodeling.
yes, and
like precision yodeling.
But they're like mathematical, or
Yeah.
it's not just like they're not just shaking their voice.
Yeah.
They're specifically hitting certain
Yeah,
notes
doing
out of the
like
rocket scales,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
and then it's like so you can't. So that was like okay, this
that had to be a pretty good challenge. Though.
it was, and
Yeah.
it made me better in every single way as a producer, engineer, and a drummer too, and just as a person, just because you start once you absorb. When you break things down, like musically in the genres, and you find out, okay, how does this pie get made, or then it's like it kind of makes you tick, and that's what I love. So I love the challenge, but there's always like a different day, something new. So
That's
but
cool.
it's every day I'm learning still, and like
Speaking of that, what are you working on now?
shoot. All right, oh man, well it's nice to actually be working on like house music, to be honest. Like, all set aside, it sounds cool, like Bollywood and country or cinematic stuff, or doing like the trap thing. But a lot of the, I've been doing a lot of ghostwriting in the past, and I've had my foot in the EDM. I hate saying that word. Pop progressive.
Oh my God, that's so much better. So much better.
Pop aggressive.
Pop progressive house. And
We had Vibration House last week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So like it's been pretty nice to actually be working on house music. I've been like I pulled out some singles that I've been sitting on myself. I have a soul I tell everyone it's my soulful 101 staple of like what was house music, at least soulful house music.
Yeah.
Big vocals, big harmonies, singing on it. I got my homegirl Fran, who's Neil's cousin, doing the verses. I'm on the chorus. I've got what's kind of fun. I always like to expose my clients. I got one of the rock bands I just recently just wrapped up, Honor Amongst Thieves. The bassist came and did on that, exposed him to house music. Never heard of it. These are kind of the people that especially metalheads. They're like.
Oh, they're
It's fucking techno. No, techno sucks. Fuck DJs.
They're militant, man. Those guys are
but then
militant.
but then when they saw like how musical house music could be, and they're like, oh, fuck, this is dope. And then like all of a sudden, he's a jazz, or classically trained bass player. Went to like one of the schools out here, and then he's like, oh man, this is like. Oh, this is house music, and then putting, and testing his skills, and I was like, yeah, here's a bass solo for you, motherfucker, right on the breakdown. He's like, were you serious? And I was like, yeah, so it took it to church, so I'm really happy about
That's
this
awesome.
song. And this was like a song, like, that, I always catch a moment where, they're in a dark place, either by the, high stress or just, whatever's going on, or just, sometimes you could take a lot of other people's negative energy, and you're just, it can put your mind in a different place, but that always strikes a creative, bulb in my head. And so this song was called Disconnected, and it's pretty much, the whole meaning of the song is just like, you don't really have to feel disconnected. It's kind of, everything can kind of keep you grounded. Mainly music, So there's a lot of don't think negatively about kind of stuff like that, but there's a lot more. Deep meaning to it, so I'm kind of excited about that. I got to work with In Vogue, the lead singer Dawn Robertson.
Really?
It was her comeback record.
Wow.
And it was really so. This was last month, and it was a deep house record. She was contacted by Mood to Swing, the old producers from the '90s.
Oh, nice.
Really?
And so Defected. Here's the coolest thing: Mood to Swing, they were just producers. And they weren't DJs, so all those records, they were just them in the studio. And then Defected, I guess, was getting like a lot of sales when they started like putting out songs. I guess like some old people were buying vinyls again. They was like, hey, you guys need to get back together, and learn how to learn how to DJ. And so now they're doing this DJ, and they're like touring, and they're kind of back. So they've been putting out records and kind of just doing classic house, soulful house, and deep house. And they've been working on this, trying to get Dawn Robertson to get on this record for like 2 years. They had the song written from like a renowned writer from England, and I guess they were kind of scoping out studios. This was another kind of humbling, you know, it was the most humbling experience, you know, just let me say this from the beginning, working with her and just getting, you know, contacted for the job and how they went about it, you know, and then working with someone like her. And I've worked with a lot of big names, but, you know, I've worked with divas and divos, and, you know, she had every right to be a diva, and she was not.
That's always
and I was trying to pull it out of her, actually, because we needed it for the record. I was like, you know, you need to take this shit to church, but we'll get there. But so, you know, but it was like, so she hadn't been, you know, the last record she did was like 9 years ago. So
yeah.
There's always like a small world with me, kind of, you know, how I got connected with Mood to Swing. I didn't even know. I was dealing with half of Mood to Swing for so many years, and you know, and then I found out, like, I just started seeing him put out records. His name's Lem Springsteen.
That's cool.
And then I was like, "Well, shit, are you Mood to Swing?" I was like, "Yeah." Get the fuck out of here. And then he's contacted me. I was like, "Hey, we finally got this this girl on board, Dawn Robertson." I was like, "Oh yeah." Like, I didn't know who she was because I'm really bad with names. But for something, I knew it ring a bell. She's like, "Well, you know, we've been working on this contract for a year. And, you know, such and such, blah, 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 we're ready to get it moving," you know, and they've looked at a bunch of different studios, like even the Palms and Odds On, like all these multi-million-dollar studios, but, you know, they were trying to find one for the vibe, and it was kind of funny. It took 3 phone calls, even though, like, you know, Lem wanted, you told me for like 2 years, like, you're going to do the record. The management got involved, so they had to make sure that I still had, like, the break room, which is kind of like the kitchen and the couch and like the pool area or whatever. It's like I have a little small backyard peanut pool with a mountain view, you know, if it's in a country club kind of setting. But and people love the boutique environment. So they had 3 phone calls to clarify that I still lived there, and the studio was there, and like she had the break room, and like her first Instagram videos was her in the break room, super happy. But anyways,
cool.
long story
That's
short,
cool.
long story short, I come to the session. These guys fly in from New York, you know. 2 guys from New York. They're going to leave the same day. Don kicks them out and they're not allowed in the studio for the whole session. And we recorded for 8 hours because this was her recording for like the first time in like 9 years. And it's just like it's just me and the engineer.
Wow.
You know, and then so I'm working with the lead singer of In Vogue on a deep house record, you know, with Mood to Swing. And I'm kicking Mood to Swing out all day.
How surreal was that?
It was really weird. I felt bad because, you know, it was kind of hot. But so, like, you know, Mood to Swing, like they would come in and pop the door, like, "Can we come in?" Like, "No,
the pool's out there. If you're hot."
And so they kept driving in circles, poor guy. And then towards the end of the day, she wanted to kind of get her groove, and we connected. And the great thing about it was, like, I couldn't believe that you know, there was a moment where, you know, I was coaching or you know, making suggestions. I was like, "Oh, you know, you want to try this?" You know, she's like, "Oh, I love that." I'm like, "Oh, fuck it." It's like, is anyone here witnessing this? Like, you know,
you had to be a little apprehensive, right?
Yeah, no.
How long did it take you to get all of a sudden more she agreed?
Yeah,
but all of a sudden you put the hat on fully?
But I've had, you know, I've been 20 years in the business. So at the same time, you know, this is also my time to, you know, show, like, you know, you did hire. I had to be professional, so it was like, all right, you know, let me just, you know, step my ground. Like, you know, I am a producer, and like I have done some and I was like, you could do some stuff better. And I was like, you know, so the producer role came on. I was like, I need more out of you. And then so, like, you know, we really took this record to church, like, you know, big gospel vocals, and she just hit some crazy ad libs. I could probably I could play some snippets on the phone or something, but
it won't do any justice.
It won't do any justice. No. But so the most recent.
I'm not gonna show a stroke.
Yeah. So it's not to drag it out, but so I've just
That's fucking dope. Dude.
Over the past couple of months, the studio's done a rock album. You know, we got some soulful deep house. We got some underground techno stuff. We've done some doing a record with Stellar and Von Ukov. I'm helping with some vocal production there, kind of trap records.
So what's your rate for vocals? We'll talk after the show.
Call 702-501.
Do we get a Greek discount? Do we get a Greek discount?
I'd like to get an exclusive in the house Las Vegas discount for mastering.
We have that.
You know, so all like budding producers, you know, and you know, it's just one of my things, man. You know, like
that's a huge
it's
huge
a black
thing.
art. It's like 80% magic, 10% talent, and 10% luck.
Yeah,
and it's the final stage because you can have a record, and not to cut you out, like you could have an amazing song and an amazing mix, but if you don't have, you know, here's the thing: mastering is is there if the mix is not perfect. If the mix is perfect,
Yeah.
which is a very hard thing, and actually,
Which is relative.
which is very hard to do. It can be. I have one song. I mean, out of like thousands of things I've mixed and mastered, and I'm very fucking proud of it. And it's one of the band songs.
It was perfect. It was
The
ready.
mix was so good. No master, like the master was, it like
Simple
and
chain.
this was all in the box, but I have like great analog stuff that I'm, there's some SSL and Abbey Road plugins and great emulators that it was in with the live instruments. It just, this sounds like it was mixed strictly on an analog like Neve or something.
That's dope.
And the mastering, no matter how good it was, it's like, I mean, the masters sound good, but the mix sounded better. And the loud, I mean, the presence was there. I mean, and it's very hard to get a fucking, it's impossible. You almost don't want to try to make it, a perfect mix. You want to get in the 90 to 95% bracket, and the mastering, bring it up, scoop out whatever you need to, or, cut the right frequencies that are, sweet, whatever it is. But, so that's a huge milestone. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, so like obviously, yeah, everyone doesn't need mastering, because mixes aren't, perfect.
But today's the balance is always crazy now. That like, I wanted to do a T-shirt that said fucking something about having curves, like house music has curves or something like that, because you get the track and it's blockheaded out, and it's obviously everyone's trying to make it louder, and they're squashing the dynamics.
Yeah.
But if you don't, so I find myself having to get close because it's going to be so low. It's going to be low in comparison. That's the struggle I have, because it's like I try to make a sweet spot and cut the difference, because they squash the dynamics, but you can't do what you would normally do because it's a young DJ maybe he doesn't have been playing on, doesn't know about vinyl being hot and cold, and so he thinks they all should be the same.
What I struggle with, and this is, and the only reason I struggle with is because it seems to run really close to critiquing creativity, and I don't want to do that. But if I can't understand it could be a creative thing where you don't understand what the person is saying. But sometimes that's more obvious than not. Like there are times when you can tell when it's and then they're doing that on purpose, But if I can't understand what the fuck, or like if the track is peaking at -12, so like you can forget about quality control on the beatport or track source side. I spazzed out one time because I thought I was previewing in lo-fi, and I buy the track and it's trash, So I want to do that. Battery.
It's sort of like a follow the leader. You see every mix of Rakim's Follow the Leader is never right because the sample is, they can't get it where it's supposed to be, and I will try to. I want that record the remix to work. I want it, but I know as a producer and a musician, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
because it's just it's not gonna work. Period. Not right.
My dyslexia is about to kick in right now. Who's the guy from Gangstar that died?
Guru.
Guru. So Guru, I think it was Guru. Yeah. So Guru was the story with Engineer and all those albums was an engineer's nightmare, especially in the analog days. The reason why his sound was the way it was is that he, we'll get into this this is like a whole different discussion. We'll go in the rabbit hole, but distortion, digital distortion versus analog distortion. What we, analog was much difficult. Like your distortion, was actually really harsh and nasty. And the only way Guru could record his vocal was distorted. Like he had to peak his mic. And that's the only way. Like, so if you actually now if you go back and listen to his records and think like, wow, that mic is peaking, you could actually hear the texture that that complements his mid-range frequencies.
That's crazy.
And but he's got a raspy voice.
Yeah, but it gave him a texture like that, and he needed that. And there's I've had I call them I've had really sensitive, artists, rappers or R&B singers, mainly more R&B singers, where they have it's almost like an OCD. They have to hear themselves a certain way. They have to, play back a certain way. I had a guy, we call him Left Ear, and he gospel. The guy was singing like fucking Genuine, and he so your R&B kind of gospel singing. So there's lots of vocals, doubles,
over the top ones too, right?
Yeah, and we'll just and so like a lot of scratch vocals that had to be referenced, and so you had to record on the left ear, and then the second it was done, it needed to be switched to the right, and so you can hear it both. And then you go back and record another one, and then like, all right, can you move that one to the left? And boom, next thing you know, you got like 20 different backing vocals that are moving. And it's like, all right, let's scratch all those, and I'm gonna do them again. Put it back on the left.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So people, there's different
All for a
dynamics
plate
with
was
different
pretty
people.
good.
But to go back on your mastering thing too, like the other key thing, there's some people kind of give up when they get to in a place where something is too squashed, or they suck the life out of stuff. And I've actually had to do a lot of restoration mastering. There's ways to get the dynamic back. You can give me a blocked file, and sometimes it's funny. It's like sometimes what creates the problem can also solve it. Solve it. It's like something got overcompressed. Sometimes you have to actually over compress it in the opposite way, so to speak. You know what I mean? And
that makes sense.
and so you pretty much chop it up, and you bring it down, and then you bring it back up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense?
No,
Yeah.
it completely makes sense.
My thing is that it's not supposed to make sense. If you don't know how to master, that's fine. As far as I'm concerned, there's a very good chance that you probably saved enough on all the shit you stole. So the least you can do is get your shit mastered.
Yeah.
And I get it though. Like when your money's funny, and you just forced to just make it work and make it happen. I get it, but that's gotta be within reason.
Yeah.
It's gotta be within reason.
The best thing to do is if your money is funny, you find a friend that's you respect, you like the way they sound, that you get them to do it, and you flip it.
I totally disagree.
Really?
Danny's
a kick-ass producer. I love it.
But that's only because but he is though. But
oh, that'd be good.
But see, that's not really always the case though. Like if you're new, chances are you probably don't really feel comfortable rubbing elbows. You probably don't rub elbows with cats that are really good.
You probably should.
So all you got is a dude that just happens to be better than you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's good.
That's
So my thing is like don't get me wrong. He's got to keep the lights on. So it's not going to be rock bottom. But I would like to have that as a discount for cats that are just, that just got ideas, that want to hear how it would sound if a professional put their stink on it,
Absolutely, and some people haven't gotten the memo. It is out there. Like I have, especially now, the community is very important to me more than ever, especially with, having people almost been lost or taken from us, and, or with the tragedies. But, musically, it's funny, there's so many talented people in Vegas, and I've been, people know who I've been talking to, from Mantra to Disco Supreme to a lot of individuals that are sleeping on their damn fucking ideas.
I slept on that. Real quick, Disco Supreme, Friday.
Oh yeah.
Tempo.
Tempo, yeah, they're back at
Tempo.
New residency. Tempo, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's going to be every Friday after hour. Yeah.
Where at?
Tempo.
I don't know what it is.
Me either. But I was going to try to go Friday, but I wasn't able to. Here's the thing: we put in a lot of work. We go to a lot of spots, at least multiple times a week. I gotta draw the line at most after hours, man. It's just killing me.
I'm like 4 remixes behind.
I'm exhausted by it.
It's tough.
Because I've already got a regular day that usually starts around 6 a.m.
Way too early.
And not to mention, the next day pretty much is going to start at 6 a.m. whether I wanted to or not. Yeah. So.
Not me.
Well, that's.
I had to bump him off my favorites list. He was calling before 2. He has been demoted. I will scroll to find you.
Oh man. Well,
yeah. So I say my whole thing is I've been reaching out to locals. The doors are open at a huge discount rate for people. Like my whole thing is I try to get people from A to Z. And there's, like I said, I've spent 20 years, mastering certain genres, constantly learning in others, but there's formulas for each stuff. If you're doing an underground house, and you're sitting on your single, but what something's off, whether it's like, I don't know something's missing, I help people find what's missing. For the
And that's the case of a lot of cats.
Yeah,
They
or
didn't know
or
that.
like you get to like, yeah, I have a pretty decent mix, but it's still, I cannot play it in my set. The key thing is for DJs, the milestone is, you play records you love, and then to produce records that you can play with records you love.
Yeah.
And then and get the same feeling of those records, and so how do you get, one is there's a musician side and there's an engineering side, so you gotta get, phase one is like, yeah, you think about arrangement, sound design, blah blah blah, formulas for that, DJ, club or radio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then the engineering side is like, all right, if you're doing techno, you gotta mix and master a certain way, if you're doing R&B, and you gotta mix and master a certain way. For everything, countries, everything. So like,
or if you're scared,
So you're scared.
It's time to shoot to get off the pot.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get to the point where you regret not pulling the trigger on something.
Because there's so many cats that got like 15 1-minute tracks too.
It's intimidating too. Like it is.
Yeah.
The whole process of getting a song, whether especially if you're a vocalist or if you're a singer or if you're you're a producer and you're making your beat, being confident that this is up to par with
You're exposed.
your peers in competition. Yeah,
You're exposed.
you're exposed, and at the same time, all the people that are out there that have stuff I call done. Like they accomplished the song and they say, oh, I'm finished with this, and now it's released.
No backsies.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't said that.
I have no tracks in the. Cats always have a lot of tracks that are like in the hot. I can't do that. I have to go from start to finish on each project because I always feel like wherever I'm at that time is a snapshot of the producer I am. Then sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse, but it's where it's at. That's me then.
Absolutely.
And it's hard for me to go back.
And when you producers that become like I call it producers, like you start like I'm a house DJ and I make my own house music songs. You get to a milestone where you're confident and you know how to achieve getting to A to Z.
Yeah.
Some people still don't know how to get there, and most of them are artists and they need producers. And actually, there's master producers that still, need an extra outside ears or hands.
Right.
So I produce producers too, and there's no and sometimes and I have other people, maybe take some stuff, my stuff, because sometimes a fresh pair of ears is always, everyone knows
An honest fresh pair.
An honest pair of fresh, an honest trained
Yeah.
pair of ears is what you want.
It's on his ass.
So, but there's this hope for so my whole thing is I've been trying to pull so many people local DJs that should have had these records out years ago and still don't have a record out.
I always say the same thing, but what are you waiting on? Just get it.
Yeah, get it done. So
Get
what
one in,
are you
do it.
missing? You have an idea, you have an 8-bar loop. Good, let's finish it.
Yeah.
Let's see where's the writer's block? Where's the creative block, or where's the lack of confidence?
And play it out. If they finish, you can play it out because you get to a point where you said the milestone, the Holy Grail. I've only started feeling confident really to play tracks that I've made in the past maybe 2-3 years. And and now it's like I will, if I have a song or whatever, and I really can't find man, I really like this song I bought here. I want to make it.
That it took him a good 8 or 9 years. to get there.
No, it did.
No.
I know.
I just want to put it in context.
Yeah, dude, completely. I mean, completely, because I played more jacking, but I wrote more deep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I only got my head around jacking stuff last year, how to make it properly with percussion. I've got over 300 something songs out. I mean, so I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like I just got it. It clicked.
That's the thing. It comes back to my analogy of cooking. You can learn how to make a loaf of bread. How are you gonna make a baguette?
Yeah.
How do you make this artisan loaf? That's or like this certain kind of thing. There's a certain touch. There's a certain. And you once you learn the recipes of things, then and sometimes even something that you love the most could be the hardest thing for you to do.
Completely.
Or sometimes you don't even know that you are capable of doing it until you try.
So with that said, what do you got coming up, DJ wise? Where can people find you?
Sweet. Let's see.
Because now that I know you're
Saturday
Greek, I want to come check your gigs out.
Let's see. Well, let's see. I'm going to be doing this is way ahead, but because it's been booked out. But I'm going to be doing a huge Taco Tuesday birthday takeover in April. I'll be every Saturday with Brett at Terrace. Going to be heading out to Boston probably in the next couple months. I think before December. Relaunch the residencies out there. And I'm actually kind of stuck in the studio finishing up this Vegas to Mykonos album with it's a whole concept where I'm trying to put a lot of locals on this as well. But this is a live deep house album with my band Fans of Jimmy Century, doing a lot of cool remixes and originals like deep house versions of Wicked Game and that kind of stuff. And I'll have my Steve Walker live kind of set as well, and then do like the hybrid thing and try to do a bunch of tours with the CD release album, starting in Vegas, ending in Mykonos, Greece. So that's I'm going to be doing a lot of posting, a lot of marketing about that soon, and memes and all that kind of stuff, and start creating awareness leading up to when we're going to start doing the official launch. And then I think I'm going to do a Nacho House. I think Tony said maybe next month. I'm not sure.
Don't listen to that.
But Tony's kind of full of shit though.
Just kidding. Love you,
yeah. I learned not to talk to him after midnight.
So for those of you that don't know who DJ Steve Walker is, be sure to look him up.
Please.
Where can they find you? The Facebookies and the
real
Instagramsters and
see DJs.
Don't try to act like you're not down
I know,
with
like
socials.
the Insta hooers, Insta facers.
I love Insta whores.
Come to Terrace this Saturday, all the way up till October. Brett and I will be freezing our ass off, and then we're gonna move it to Sundays. We'll have Sunday sessions on the terrace, which is gonna be mimosas and live house and all that jazz. Starting in November, we're gonna have Anthony Attal.
Oh, Anthony Attal.
Yeah, so we're gonna launch with him. And so we're kind of excited about that.
Nice.
And then, so go to djstevewalker.com, Facebook, The Real DJ Steve Walker, Twitter, DJ Steve Walker, Instagram, DJ Steve Walker. And if you guys want to get some studio action, go to Vegas Collective Media. Catch it on the social as well, on Facebook, Instagram. All month, 50% off for all locals. Get, on any price on anything is always going to meet or beat the competition. So
You shouldn't be so lazy. You should work more.
I know. I was telling him. I was like, he's like, I got some rest. I was like, what's rest?
I mean, God.
Rest?
Well, it took my body saying "fuck you, pay me" to get some.
Yeah, I know.
I managed to get some. Be sure to find Steve. And you know what? With 50% off, you know what? You're not getting no discount from the house.
Put some skin in
Pay
it.
that 50%, and
Be happy we should.
My whole thing is I believe in all of us, and I want there's a lot of talented folk out here that needs to get heard and seen, so I want to help y'all.
I believe in some of y'all. All right.
I believe in some of y'all.
So from
be sure to stand up. And before we sign off, I want to big up to obviously David Serrano.
David.
Ikaika.
Oh, we had a chat.
Al Rodriguez.
David, thanks for keeping your distance here tonight.
John Acosta, big ups to him.
Oh, Big John.
El Boogie.
Billy.
Billy's in the building.
Billy?
Yep.
What?
And Melodi's in the building. Chris Jocelyn.
What up?
Mr. Will Cox. Frenchie's in the building.
Fritz?
Soto's in the building. Carlos Reyes in the building. My man Chris Leosi's in the building.
Man, it's a sausage fest in there.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you for tequila and ice cream.
Yes, sir.
I feel like we.
And speaking of that,
what's your
something
party
to go
game?
away with, a little more monkey business.
Oh,
to take
nice.
with you.
So you know what's up.
And we'll be seeing you second Sunday again with Jawan Rates at Nacho House. And
I'm not opening.
I will be opening. I will be taking opening duties. I will be setting it up for these cats to knock it down so I can have some fun.
Because you knocked it down last one.
Thank you. That was fun. That was
Anyway,
fun.
Thank you for having me, guys.
I mean, Tony put his foot in it. That was some good shit right there. And I'm glad that we didn't video it.
Me too. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Boom.
Y'all may not ever see a fucking second Sunday video.
So you know what they
Possibly.
say. What they say. I'm Bruno Browning.
Roy Evans in the house Las Vegas. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of the Other Side of Vegas, and we will see you on the next one.
Monkey business.
Peace out.
Dude, I've got to go make a phone call. I forgot to call somebody.
Stop lying.
Oh, man. Well, we
I
got.
just like saying
I
it.
know you do. Oh, well, this motherfucker here. God damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right.
That's
All
my monkey business,
All right.
baby.
All right.
This tastes like you just smoked a joint.
Tastes like I should put some milk on it. Hey,
I just had to get that. Hold on.
Oh, no, you did not get that. Oh, dude, I should have.